Senator Robert Menendez of New Jersey getting a pat on the back by Senator Cory Booker during a groundbreaking ceremony for the North Portal Bridge project in Kearny, NJ, in October. Mr. Booker is one of several prominent Democrats who have endorsed Mr. Menendez for re-election in 2018. Bryan Anselm for the New York Times. When a mistrial was declared Thursday in the federal corruption trial of Senator Robert Menendez of New Jersey, it seemed that Mr. Menendez could face a tenuous political future. There was the looming threat that Republicans could target him next year when he faces re-election. And, more immediately, a Democratic candidate might be waiting in the wings to mount a primary challenge. Hours later, the likelihood that Mr. Menendez, a Democrat, might face any real threat from within the party grew dim. Every major Democratic power broker in the state quickly endorsed Mr. Menendez for re-election in 2018. Philip D. Murphy, the governor-elect, Senator Cory Booker, Stephen M. Sweeney, the Senate President Craig Coughlin, the incoming Speaker of the State Assembly George E. Norcross, an influential political leader in southern New Jersey, and the county chairs in northern Democratic strongholds such as Bergen, Hudson, Passaic, and Middle. Mounting a campaign without the support of powerful Democratic leaders is almost a lost cause in a state where party machines remain deeply entrenched. Leaders can direct donors and can determine other essential political advantages, such as the line where a candidate's name is listed on a ballot. The backing of the state's political class means that Mr. Menendez is likely to coast unscathed through the primary, which is scheduled for next June. It would be very hard for somebody to win off the line in New Jersey in a Democratic primary, said Julie Roginski, a Democratic strategist. The support that Mr. Menendez received so soon after his trial ended reflects, Ms. Roginski said, his strength both as a longtime advocate for his constituents in New Jersey and also as a very strategic politician who has made sure to maintain contact with people who are important to his re-election throughout the trial. Mr. Menendez's standing was underscored when two Democrats, whose names had been floated as possible challengers to Mr. Menendez if he had been found guilty, both issued endorsements. Robert G. Torricelli, a former New Jersey senator whose own career ended in controversy, and Stephen Fulop, the mayor of Jersey City. Mr. Torricelli, who had lined up potential campaign staff and had started fundraising, said he never planned to actually run against Mr. Menendez. This was entirely preparing for the possibility of a vacancy because of a resignation due to the criminal trial, he said. This one seat in the U.S. Senate looms extremely large and it needed to be defended at all costs. Mr. Menendez could still face obstacles ahead. If federal prosecutors decide to retry him, a new trial could unfold during his potential re-election effort, and his Republican opponent would surely make the corruption charges a main issue. Mr. Menendez still faces an investigation by the Senate Ethics Committee. Federal prosecutors accused Mr. Menendez of abusing his office by doing favors for a wealthy eye doctor from Florida in exchange for lavish gifts and political contributions. Mr. Menendez won perhaps his biggest endorsement on Thursday from Mr. Norcross, an insurance executive and political kingmaker in Camden County. I spoke to Senator Menendez, he said in a statement, and I pledged my support for his re-election. The support from Mr. Norcross was particularly notable because Mr. Menendez rose to prominence in northern New Jersey as mayor of Union City, state legislator, congressman and eventually senator. Mr. Norcross holds sway over many Democrats, including state lawmakers and county chairs, in the southern part of the state. It is still possible that a more progressive Democrat might emerge to take on Mr. Menendez, but so far no names have surfaced. Mr. Menendez has yet to officially declare his intention to run for re-election, though he has shown no indication that he intends to relinquish his seat. His first public event since his trial ended was Friday at the North Hudson Community Health Center in West New York, a small city across the Hudson River from Manhattan. The room where people gathered was called the Menendez Pavilion, named after the senator. Mr. Menendez offered a coy response when asked about his political plans. "This would not be my idea of a campaign kickoff," he said. A version of this article appears in print on November 18, 2017, on page A16 of the New York edition with the headline "Menendez, Power and Tact Savers Democrats Backing."